Now we're going to discuss the most important formula for geometrical calculations. Two-dimensional, square, rectangle, circle, parallelogram and rhombus. So square, the area of a square is a square and perimeter of a square is 4a. So if you take about square, I have a diagram here. So this is the area comprised between the square. So that should be a square, where a is the side of a square. A is nothing but the side of a square. So to calculate the area, it is a square. For perimeter, it's 4a. And rectangle. In rectangle, we have the opposite sides are equal and parallel. So the difference between a rectangle and a parallelogram is, in parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal. You can say like the opposite sides are parallel and they are equal. In rectangular, the opposite sides are equal. It is not going to be parallel. But in parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal. And if the angles of these opposite sides are equal, then it turns to a square. But don't want to dive much deep into that. Just know the difference. So rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. So the area is length into breadth and the perimeter is 2 length plus breadth. For a circle, it is pi r square and the perimeter is 2 pi r. For a parallelogram, it is the combination of base into height. And for perimeter, it is 2 length plus breadth. And for rhombus, it is half d1 into d2. So rhombus is nothing but if a quadrilateral is something, it has an indefined structure. A quadrilateral is something like an indefinite structure. So if the sides of a quadrilateral are equal and if it has a diagonal, then it is called as a rhombus. It is half d1 into d2. And the perimeter of a rhombus is 4a. All these are about two-dimensional structure. And also, I have left one thing. It is about triangle. So if you consider about a triangle, we have 3 different types of triangles. First thing, sum of a triangle will always be equal to 180 degree. All the angles in a triangle, if you calculate, it should give you 180 degree. So there are 3 types of triangle. One is the isosceles triangle, equilateral triangle and a scalene triangle. In isosceles triangle, 2 sides are equal. For an example, 2 sides are equal, or sometimes it is also called as a right angled triangle. Okay, an equilateral triangle, all 3 sides are equal. In scalene triangle, all 3 sides will have a different values. All the 3 sides will definitely have a different value. Then it is called as a scalene triangle. All 3 sides will have a different triangle. Equilateral triangle, all will have a same value. And isosceles triangle, 2 sides will have a same data. So now we'll see the formula calculation for these 3 triangles. Formulas for an isosceles triangle, the area is half base into height. So this part will be the height and this part will be the base. If you consider a right angle triangle, let it be a right angle triangle. So if you have an angle opposite to that, you can find your opposite side. Opposite, it is called as an opposite side. So opposite, hypotenuse and adjacent, I will be discussing it later. But to calculate the area of isosceles, it is half base into height. For perimeter, it is 2a plus b. And for equilateral triangle, where all 3 sides are equal, the area is root 3 by 4 a square, where root 3 value is 1.732 and the perimeter is 3a. For a scalene triangle having 3 different values, area is root of s minus a, s minus b, s minus c, and the perimeter is a plus b plus c. What is that s? For a scalene triangle, s is nothing but a sum of sides in a scalene triangle divided by 2. And one more thing, sometimes we need to calculate the sides of a triangle. Like how we will be interpreting the sides from a triangle is, let's consider a right angle triangle. This is 90 degree, A, B, C. In a right angle triangle, the angle opposite to this 90 degree, it's called as a hypotenuse. And where this angle touches, it's called as a adjacent side. Okay, so hypotenuse, adjacent, and this can be a height or a length. So normally, by applying the Pythagoras theorem, AB square is equal to AC square plus BC square. If you have to calculate the hypotenuse, it is nothing but square root of, hypotenuse is nothing but the square root of base square, like adjacent square, plus length square. That gives you a hypotenuse value. And if you calculate the length, it is nothing but hypotenuse square minus adjacent square. And similarly, if you have to calculate the adjacent, it is nothing but my hypotenuse square minus L square. So from a triangle, this is how you will be interpreting. This is a right angle triangle. If it is not going to be a right angle triangle, or the angle is going to be in a different way. Now here if I have the angle, then opposite to this, the length of the longest side will be the hypotenuse. If this is going to be a triangle, the length of the longest side will be the hypotenuse. So here it will be the hypotenuse, and where this ends, it will be your adjacent, and this will be your height. So this is how you have to interpret the hypotenuse, adjacent and height for a triangle. Okay.